Welcome back, everybody, to Gabe Infinity Watch. Today's going to be a nice special episode as we take a look through this incredible, amazing Jim Lee DC Legends Artifact Edition. This is put out by the wonderful folks over at IDW Publishing. The main head guy involved with all these great artifact editions, artist editions, things like that. It's a gentleman named Scott Dunbeard who has just put together this incredible new form for us to enjoy original comic book art. And this is going to be just that. This is going to be a lot of just me gloating and enjoying, pandering everything I can to the idea of Jim Lee and his amazing artwork through his time at DC Comics and Wildstorm, is what we would be seeing here today. So, as you can see here is the main cover. Now, real quick, for those of you who don't quite understand or don't know what an artist edition is, or artifact edition in this case, is these are colored scans of the original pages of artwork that Jim Lee drew and worked on himself to create his comic books. And we'll get a little bit more detail into that as we go through this book here. But yeah, these are colored scans of Jim Lee's original artwork pages. And the paper here is the correct size, is the actual size of the original artwork as well. So you get about as close of a simulated experience of having actual Jim Lee artwork in your possession. So here, straight off, we have Jim Lee DC Legends Artifact Edition is a part of an ongoing series, one dedicated to showcasing outstanding artists in a format as special as their work deserves, which I will have to 100% agree. Table of contents, here's some of the fun things that we will be going over in this book here. Starting off with his Wildstorm artwork. Wildstorm was his publishing company when he formed Image. Was that part of or after is Homage Studios? I'm not positive right now. Maybe somebody can hook me up with that information in the comments below. Was Homage Studios then turned into Wildstorm? Like I don't know the exact timeline of all that things kind of happened here. All pencils by Jim Lee, all inks unless otherwise noted by the great Scott Williams. Now, you really can't get a better duo, a better team. Duo is kind of funny considering we're talking about Batman a lot in here. A better team than Jim Lee and Scott Williams. Synonymous teamwork that they've been together for, God, has to be about 30 years or close to it. So, Wildstorm, Batman, lots of great Batman stuff in here. I'm sure you guys will be blown away by that. Superman, and then DC Universe. The DC Universe stuff is going to be really cool because a lot of that is his current artwork, his current covers and splash pages and other great work like that as well. So let's start off with Wildstorm. So we got a great page here from Art of Homage #1. Great composition here of dinosaurs and the Gen 13 folks. Now, This is the stuff that this is all about. This is what gets me going. This is what gets my blood pumping right here. Is this stuff. Wildcats. Look at this great Wildcats cover that we got going on here. Notice that, so like I said, this is exactly how the pages were. This is an exact scan of the page. It's on Marvel Comics paperwork. It's on a Marvel Comics artboard. I'm just guessing Jim must have just had just loads and loads of this artwork, or these blank pages from his time at Marvel, or you know, however the case might be. So this is what we can see here. This is the cover for Wildcats number 2. So you can get an idea here. This is the actual issue. This is the original art made to create this cover. So you get an idea of how big they work in comparison to how it gets shrunk down to the actual finished published comic here. And then over here, here's Wildcats number 2, page number 3, which is a beautiful, beautiful splash page. Let you guys kind of compare that, the way that looks. Colored, completely rendered, completely published, printed, 1990, God, this had to be like 92? So you get an idea of what it looks like, finished product, and the work that's gone into it. Beautiful stuff. I just love this composition that really kind of matches the cover here. So you get the cover, which is this great void transportation kind of cover going on with all the Wildcats characters, well, almost all of them. And you get a very similar one here on this side, but at least this one you get all the characters. You get Maul, you get Grifter, who's not on this page, you get Zealot, Voodoo, Warblade, and Jacob Marlowe, or Imp, however he went by then. And then down here, you get a nice little dedication when he sold this or gave it to somebody. Happy birthday, or to Scott. Happy birthday to Defender Boy. It's a cute little jet plane doodle there. And what's really great about these artist editions is, like I said, you can actually see everything involved with the artwork. I'm not sure if this is going to pick up well in the video, but you can see some of the way that the rubber cement that they used to glue down these word balloons kind of got rubbed off here. There's some smudges, there's fingerprints, the pages are kind of dirty. This is what showcases the real work done into comics. So you can actually read this page. You got all the great word balloons here. You get the hand-done lettering on the word balloons. You get the hand-done lettering sound effects here. This here is all like cutouts and post-ups. Really cool stuff. Nice page here from Wildcats 5. You get to see a Damonite come out, get rebirthed, or born out of that character, and see him get destroyed here by Spartan. Page from issue 12. Now this is really cool here. This is something this is newer. So you can kind of see a little bit of, Jim's always evolving art style. This is the cover to the Wildcats Absolute hardcover that recently came out here. Kind of see the comparisons there. You can still, with the size of this large Absolute, this book here is even larger than the Absolute, but you kind of see, again, the beginning artwork of it here, final printed masterpiece here. That's one side. This is a double page, and it's a wraparound cover on the slipcase. You even get Mr. Majestic on this here. Really cool. This is the fun stuff also. This is something really trippy here, I think. This is Jim Lee's work when he was doing a Deathblow, which is a mercenary character named Michael Cray. They kind of brought him back recently in the new Wildstorm comics. But here, you get Jim Lee doing his best Frank Miller style. So you get Frank Miller here filtered through the artwork of Jim Lee. Now, I don't know if you can see on this page here, Michael Cray with Deathblow and the Nun, but all this kind of smoky atmosphere stuff here is really just whiteout. And if you can get real close on here, what it really is, it looks like Jim just had a pile of whiteout somewhere, and he just dipped his finger in the whiteout and just kind of just smudged it around here. Because you can actually see fingerprints. These are all fingerprints here from him just kind of smudging the whiteout all over the place, and some spatter all about here as well. But you probably use like an index card or maybe like a toothbrush. I'm not sure his exact process of it, but it's great to see Jim Lee's kind of different changed up style on these kinds of pages here. Some Gen 13 action as well, some more of that. And over here we get to Jim Lee's Divine Right, The Adventures of Max Faraday. Now, Divine Right was a book about slacker, college kid, pizza delivery boy who ends up getting powers where he can manipulate the universe. Divine Right was actually Jim Lee's first, I believe this was his first time him writing and doing the art on a series. This is great here, this cover here with the American flag. One of the things I don't know if this picks up on the video or not, but you could see the changes here that Jim Lee did with the positioning of the hand on this character. The hand was a little bit more over this way, and he moved it over with the lighter and the cigar. So it's really great about this stuff. You get to see the thought process and the changes and the last minute decisions that are probably made during this kind of process. And again, I haven't said it yet, but it goes without saying, just the amazing work that Scott Williams, his inker, does with all of this stuff here. He really brings this work together and gives it that kind of depth and shading and just wonderful, wonderful collaboration between those two. You get some of the ladies of Wildstorm with Fairchild, Voodoo, and Zealot there as well. Now we're moving on to his DC work here as we start off with this Batman. All right, so here with this Batman stuff, this Batman page here, again, this is really fun when you get to see this kind of changes here. It's on Marvel Comics Artboard. This is originally, I guess, at one point being used as an X-Men page. You can see that he kind of crossed out X-Men here and decided again to use this for Batman. This is 1992. This is all pencil and inked by Jim Lee. This is actually his first published work on Batman, was right here. This is the first original Batman page he's ever done that was published here in 1992. This way predates Hush, way predates anything else like that. But it gives us a really cool look at his styling of Batman. You can see where he kind of starts getting. He's already had like the short ear Batman. And he's kind of trying to get the idea how the cape flows in the city of Gotham back here. and the bricks and all this kind of great stuff is really just a good experimental way of him, figuring this out, looks like. But here we get into some, this is beautiful stuff. I really wish you guys could take a look at this in person. If you like this, I definitely recommend that you pick this book up. But here is the second and third page from Batman 608. And again, here is the final look, the published product with the comparison of the original artwork. And one of the great things that I love so much about Jim Lee and his artwork is just his storytelling ability. I mean, that's really important with a comic book artist. But you can kind of just see that it's Batman just hunting down these mercenaries. This is the part of the story where Batman's looking for a kidnapped kid. I believe it's a politician's kid or something like that. And this is Batman just kind of systematically taking them down one by one, kind of almost like Aliens, where you don't ever get to see Batman yet. It's all his hands and his feet and his shadow as he takes these dudes down. And it leads us to one of my favorite images of Batman ever, which is this great splash page. I actually have this image tattooed on my chest. That's how much I like it. Very, very powerful image. I mean, here on the printed page versus the actual original art here. Just great. Some of the negative spacing here with the lighting, the smoke effect, just the chain wrapped around that pipe there in the gutter or in the sewer here. Just great fun stuff. We got some Batman and Catwoman team up here. Cover 609. Just wonderful, wonderful Poison Ivy. Wonderful, wonderful Black Cat here. I think the Black Cat's, or not Black Cat, excuse me, totally sorry. Catwoman. I think it's a different Catwoman face here than on the actual cover. So yeah, I knew there was something different about that Catwoman. I went out and got my copy. I don't have the single issue for this with me readily available for the cover of 608, but I do have the Absolute. So there definitely was a change in Catwoman's face from here, where she has this is the updated style with the goggles. Whereas in the original, she doesn't have the goggles on. So I'm guessing he must have drew this before they decided to do the goggle version here. Which I guess happens fairly often in comics. You know, you do things so far ahead and then changes have to be made. Cool piece here. Superman, who is being controlled by Poison Ivy at this point. Now it is Batman Hush, when him and Jeff Loeb were first getting together and getting this their story ideas put together. Jeff Loeb, of course, asked them, you know, what do you want to draw? What kind of characters do you want to draw? Look at that Joker. That's probably one of the better covers when it comes down to the original artwork, is this Joker cover here. Jeff Loeb asked Jim Lee what he wanted to draw, and they just kind of came up with a list of characters that they wanted Jim Lee to draw, which is basically every Batman character in his rogues gallery. At least all the big ones, of course. Now here, this fight with Joker, all the kind of graffiti on the walls back here, a lot of it is call-outs to other comic book creators. Jim Lee always threw in Easter eggs and cool things like that in his artwork. So here you can see Robinson. You can kind of see where it says Robinson, which is, of course, Jerry Robinson. All this kind of graffiti down here looks like it was just done with whiteout, you know, he just wrote whiteout all over this stuff to kind of make that graffiti really kind of pop and stand out. Like here it says Bray. I'm guessing that might be towards Norm Brayfogle, or these might be just names of like friends and other colleagues or something. You can always throw his names out in these things as well. Gotta love all the rain. That's a lot of work to do all that rain. That looks wonderful. Out of control double page spread here of the Batcave with all the different versions of the Batmobile. Got the dinosaur in the background. Really, really just super cool page. $6.19. This is like the return of Jason Todd. See him here at the gravesite. And then here's the cover for $6.19. You might be asking yourself, "Oh, I know this image. Isn't it a wraparound cover?" You know what? You're very right. It is a wraparound cover. So let's unfold this bad boy and let's take a nice clear look at basically 3 pages of artwork here that I would put together to do this single image that was used for that cover for 619. 619A, 619B, 619C, but it's all just one cover. It was a wraparound gatefold cover, I believe. And again, you got the whiteout here for the smoke. There's that Nightwing image that they always use with the spinning baton. They made statues out of this all over the place, things like that. It's a cool cover for Image, or I'm sorry, not Image, for Wizard magazine. These are great too. This is all really just, all this background stuff is just really nice, just ink wash. I've seen Jim Lee, you can see him do these kinds of things on like his Twitch. A lot of times he just uses like a wadded up napkin that's dipped in ink and kind of brushed and patted along. Some more great ink wash here. These are the covers for the Hush trade paperbacks, Volume 1, Volume 2. Or front page, back page. You can even see, like, sometimes some of these pages have prices on here. I don't know if you can see that. $1,200. $1,200 for that. I'd buy that in an instant. That's a kidney I don't need. So yeah, so you have the 2 trades when they first did that. So here's the heroes for the most part. And you got the villains here with Batman. They're all kind of mixing heroes and villains. And here we get into All-Star Batman and Robin, which he did with the great Frank Miller. Great 2-page spread here. That Black Canary kicking that guy's teeth out in the bar. More just great rain. Green Lantern action here as well. This is before the Justice League New 52 stuff. Then here we start getting into, this is a newer cover for Batman 45 from the more recent Batman storyline. Dark Knight 3 cover. Another Dark Knight 3 cover as well. That's cover number 9. Just, I mean, just even just like it's all just black, you know, face is blacked out. You got the parachute blacked out, but it's still just very powerful. Just wonderful stuff. Here we got some DC metal type stuff going on here. The Dragon and Batman Who Laughs. Now let's take a look at his Superman work here from all kinds of different Superman stuff going on there. Here's the Action Comics #1 cover he did. And then here's the Action Comics 1000 cover that he did. Look at all that work here on it. Metropolis, Daily Bugle, all these cities. I mean, wow, that's a lot of work you have to put in to do all these cityscapes and make it look cool like that. All right, so let's take a look at his DC universe. This is really going to be good stuff because this is a lot of his newer stuff here. So this might be stuff that maybe you guys might already own yourselves or you guys have recognized because there's a lot of great images here as well. Like here we have the Justice League #1 from New 52 cover. And the interior page, I think it's like page 5. Justice League 2 cover here. The page 18 from Justice League #2. There's some Flash. Here's a nice roundup of some of the key members of the Justice League: Green Lantern, Flash, Superman, and Batman. But then look at all this. Look at all this like warehouse, factory, just scenery that's put in here. You got this staircase, or I'm sorry, you got like this conveyor belt. You got all these lights up here on the top, all this piping and tubing, all these catwalks and stuff. But it's not only here, but you see it here in this panel and that panel. This is the kind of stuff why Jim Lee is the modern master, in my opinion. And if you don't agree with that, then you're wrong. Darkseid, that was the end splash page for Justice League 4. There's the big fight with Darkseid. I mean, this is all stuff that they used for the Justice League movie, the animated film. A lot of stuff just came directly out of Jim Lee's work. Just the shadowing effect, the cross-hatching here on the cyborg. And just, again, I mean, it's been Jim Lee. I've said his name 1,000 times in here, and I'm not bringing up Scott Williams enough. But, I mean, just the inking that he's doing on all this work here, all this line work, that's dedication. That's beautiful work. That's what really sets Jim Lee's work apart, and that's all thanks to Scott Williams. All this kind of line work, all this being able to know when to make it dark, when to keep it light, so it's almost like this guy's like a ghost. And you can see that in just the artwork here alone, in just the originals. A lot of just work and dedication. That's a beautiful cover there, that second print for Justice League 12 with Superman and Wonder Woman kissing. Well, this is the second print where it's more like Wonder Woman is kissing Superman. I think there was a little bit of a, not controversy or, maybe kerfuffle over it being her being the more dominant role in that kiss. I remember there being some kind of spark concern about that at one point. And here a lot of this artwork, this newer stuff. These artboards are from the Kubert School, which is really cool. You can see what kind of paperwork he uses. The Strathmore 400 series. All right, here we get to the newer stuff. Metal 2 variant, Metal 3 cover here. Metal 4 variant, Metal 6 variant. Detective Chimp, look at that. There's a Dark Days casting cover. That one's a holofoil cover when it came out, and it doesn't look as cool and doesn't really pop as well and nice like it does here. This Hawkman cover here for Dark Days casting, 18K. You got 18K lying around, guys. You totally could have picked yourself up a page of Jim Lee's artwork, yo. Totally worth it. Who needs a car? Mortal Men cover. Some Harley Quinn work here. Make her really look sexy and hot here, and then really just make her just really kind of just cool and badass with the gun and just fun here. Super Sons is one of my favorite characters of the new DC universe. Love it, love it, love it. And then this Jim Lee version is great. This Wonder Woman pinup's really beautiful as well. And that, guess what, everybody? That's the end. Check this out. And this is a nice long kind of introduction and the history of Jim Lee, I guess you could say, which is really nice on here. I'm not going to read it all to you, but it gives you his origin, him being born in Korea, how he moved to Missouri to St. Louis, and how he was a big fan of John Byrne's X-Men and Frank Miller. I mean, who wasn't at that time? So you get some great work here as well. Even lets you know down here that back in '98, he sold Wildstorm to DC, and that just brought on just the height of that popularity and the characters there, and him being in charge of DC at the moment. And then, of course, can't forget this section here. 1992, height of their popularity, Lee and 6 other prominent artists broke away from Marvel Comics to form their own independent publishing entity. Image Comics was an umbrella company that each creator used to distribute their own books. Lee's being under the name Wildstorm, Wildstorm Productions. The initial title, Wildcats, Covert Action Teams, was drawn by Lee and Williams and co-written by Brandon Choi. Wildstorm soon became the largest arm of Image Comics publishing. Death Blow, Stormwatch, Gen 13, and others. And that's the thing that a lot of people don't really give Jim Lee credit for, is how diverse and important Wildstorm as a publishing company was. Not only did you get things like Wildcats and Deathblow and Stormwatch and Gen 13, but you got Authority. Alan Moore did work for Jim Lee, all that ABC Comics like Top 10, Tom Strong, Tomorrow's Stories. All of those were fashioned under Jim Lee's shepherd. So, great man, great artist, great pioneer in the form of comics. And that's it, folks. All right, well, thank you so very much for joining me in through this wonderful walkthrough of Jim Lee's artwork in IDW's Jim Lee DC Legends Artifact Edition. Now, after going through all this, you might be saying the same thing I am, which is, God damn it, I need a Marvel version of this as soon as humanly possible. I would love to see this type of experience, but with Jim Lee's X-Men pages, Punisher pages. The team can go back in some of his early stuff and see him do his Alpha Flight pages in here as well. And things like that, I think we deserve. I'm gonna say deserve because I feel like I'm entitled to something, but you know we're not. But we are. Would absolutely love a Marvel Jim Lee version of this very, very soon. So IDW Scott Dumbeard, let's make it happen, my friends. Let me know what we can do. All right, folks. Thank you very much for joining in here. I hope you enjoyed this walkthrough of this. There'll be a link in the comments section here where you can pick this up at instocktrades.com. Or if you have a local comic book store that carries this type of stuff, go and give them a visit. Check them out first. Support your local comic book store. If that's not available to you, definitely hit up instocktrades.com. Pick it up from them. They have the best pricing. They have the best customer service. And the most important part, the best packaging ever when it comes down to getting your hardcovers, trade paperbacks, omnibuses, artifacts editions, artist editions available. They pack it secure, tight. It arrives on your doorstep. Wonderful experience with IST, instocktrades.com. So check it out, folks. Thank you very much. Subscribe, thumbs up, share this video around, pass this around to all your friends and anybody else you think might be interested in seeing original Jim Lee artwork as well. But thanks again. Peace out, everybody.